Babies know the secret to learn any language. When born in UK, they can speak English. When born in Karnataka, they can speak Kannada. And when in Delhi, they can speak Hindi. As a child, you had scope to learn any language that you were exposed to. Some children, where their families speak English, Hindi, Kannada, speak all three languages without a problem. So, as babies, we had something back then that we don't have right now. And can you guess what it is? It is time. Babies have all the time in the world to learn any language. In fact, all they have is time. They just have to eat, sleep, smile, giggle, listen and imitate. We as grown-ups don't have that kind of time. And you know what? Even if we don't have time, we can still focus on finding the secret to learn any language. And that's why today we are going to talk about polyglots. Polyglots are people who don't speak one or two languages. In fact, they speak 10, 20, 30, sometimes even 50 languages. The world's most famous polyglot, Ziad Faza, speaks up to 59 languages, which is totally insane. Are these people naturally gifted to be able to learn a language this fast? No, it is all a process. And today, we're going to talk about the process a polyglot follows to learn a language. And you can apply the same process to learn English. When I was reading and researching about all those polyglots, there was one thing that I found common amongst all them. And that is that they find ways to make this learning process enjoyable. They don't take English or any other language as a rule book of grammar or vocabulary. Instead, it is about creating a whole new world and living the culture of that language. They do things out of their comfort zone. So I'm going to share 3 processes that all polyglots follow to acquire any new language. And you can do the same to acquire English. So let's begin. Process number 1. Turn language learning from a boring school subject into an activity that you love doing every day. If you are learning English just for the sake of cracking IELTS or for an interview, you won't go very far because that's not enough to keep you motivated to carry on the language acquiring process. You are looking for shortcuts in grammar books and vocabulary books, and the irony is most of you know how to speak in English. You know the rules. It is just that you can't have a dialogue in that language in a fluent manner. How do you think polyglots learn so many languages? It is because they adapt themselves to that culture. They don't take it as a subject or start mugging up the rules. They resonate with people who speak that language. So change your attitude and approach towards it. Stop taking it as a burden or a task. Make learning as effortless as possible. Let me give you an example of a polyglot, Tim Donner. He started learning French at the age of 6, and even after 2 years of practice, he was not able to have a conversation with anybody. In one of his TED Talks, he said that French was his subject in school. He could tell the basic words in French but could not have a proper fluent conversation in that language with anyone. In grade 7th, he started learning Latin, but he wasn't successful there as well. At the age of 13, he started learning Hebrew just out of curiosity. He had no idea how to do it. So he started listening to rap music in Hebrew. He used to repeat whatever he used to listen to. He even tried talking to native speakers once a week or a month. And soon with time, he was able to understand the language. He was not fluent, he did not know the grammar, but he was able to do something that he could never do in school. At the age of 14, he started speaking Arabic, and that was so empowering for him that he kept going on, and slowly he learned 20 languages, including French, Farsi, Arabic, German, Hebrew, Hindi by the age of 18. So you see how he was able to learn all these languages when there was no pressure on him, no rules, as compared to following the traditional route. This is exactly what you have to do. Don't feel the pressure to be right or to be wrong. Start taking English as a fun activity. Start exploring the language. Start exploring the culture, the knowledge the language holds. Process number 2. Build a community of like-minded people. When you stay with people who have common goals and common interest, then your chances of learning a language increases automatically. Now, you may say that you don't have that environment. But you know what? The world is smaller than you think, all thanks to the internet. Use the internet to connect with such people who are willing to learn the same language. Make your own community of learners where you can embrace yourself. Make 200 mistakes and learn from each and every mistake. Now coming back to Tim's journey. After he learned some languages like Hindi, Hebrew, Arabic, he decided to post a video of himself on YouTube speaking all those languages. He did not expect a response from that video. But to his surprise, people not only appreciated him in the comments but also corrected his mistakes. And that is how he made a community of speakers to interact with, someone who could help him to learn that language. What do you learn from his story? He did not use textbooks. Instead, he started connecting and resonating with people who were learning the language or who were speaking the language. This is what you need to do. If you search on YouTube, you will see a lot of English learners have started their own YouTube channel. They don't speak flawless or exceptional English. They just learn and share whatever they know. And if you are really inspired by this video, I want you to publish a short reel on YouTube where you can talk about yourself. And if you do so, don't forget to mention Engvarta so that we can see your video, appreciate it and help you further. Process number 3. If you don't know how to teach yourself a language, experiment. Now, you may say that motivation is okay, but then what to do to learn a language? So at this point, I will tell you different methods used by different polyglots. Method of Loki. In one of his videos, Tim talked about method of Loki. Let me explain that to you. Say you want to learn 5 vocabulary words. So instead of memorizing them in blocks, you can integrate them into your spatial memory. For example, you take the same road from your home to your office or to your college. And on your way, you see many things, you visualize many things. So instead of thinking about them in your language, you can start naming them in English. For example, an ice cream vendor or a restaurant or a speed breaker or a walkaway and so on. Start mapping them in your memory and replay that memory again and again and remind yourself of what's called what in the language you're trying to learn. In your case, it would be English. Benny Lewis, a polyglot known as the language hacker, has shared a method known as spaced repetition method. This is one of the most powerful methods of recalling what you have learned. Let me explain it to you. You know, when you learn something, you retain only 30% of the information. Now, if you look at the graph, you will see the memorization line keeps on sloping downwards as the number of days increases and your chances of remembering something decreases. But if you revise over a regular interval of time, say every 5 days, 7 days, 14 days, then your chances of forgetting decreases and the word will slowly fix itself into your long-term memory. Along with this, he also shared a method to learn any word faster and better using the image association technique. This is one of the most amazing techniques to learn a new vocabulary that you wish to learn. For example, if you come across an idiom, learn the ropes, which means to explain someone on how to do a particular job. If you just learn the idiom, maybe you will forget it or you will not remember it when needed. But if you associate it with a picture, you will surely never forget it. Another example can be of the idiom sweet tooth. Sweet tooth is used for someone who has a great liking for desserts or something that tastes sweet. Now, if you just learn the idiom, then you might forget it. But if you associate this idiom with a picture, then your chances of remembering the idiom will automatically increase. My point is, don't just do something because someone else is doing it. Experiment and develop your own methods to learn something. If you're not getting results, it's okay, move on, find something else to do. It is said that babies learn a language faster as compared to adults, but it is not true. Adults usually follow the traditional route. We learn the grammar rules first, we refer to various books, but what do babies do? They have fun, they enjoy the process, and they learn during that. So get the exposure, live through the language, and start connecting it with real life. Research from the University of Israel confirms that with the right motivation and environment, adults can learn English or any other language way faster as compared to babies. So, get your motivation right and don't just study the language, start living it. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any question, then write them down in the comment section below. And if you are ready to make your first video in English, write I love English in the comments below as well. I will see you in my next video. Till then, take care and happy learning.
Engvarta, your English practice playground. No judgment, only motivation and constructive feedback. Join today.